All right, I'm here with Courtney Nichols, the principal of Cannon County High School. And Courtney, tell us a little bit about your background, where you grew up, what got you interested in teaching, things on that nature.
Well, I grew up in Cannon County. I went to West Side and then graduated from Cannon County High School in 1989. I received my degree in animal science from MTSU, and my first teaching job was in Giles County at Richland High School. I taught there for 10 years and then got the opportunity to come back to Cannon County and reside back on my family farm that's been in my family for over 100 years.
So you've been used to community schools, because Richland's kind of a community school, aren't they?
Yes, at Richland, when I first started teaching there, it was a K-12 school. So yes.
Wow. So, and they're still small.
They are. They are.
What subject areas did you teach at Richland, and what subject areas did you teach?
I taught agriculture. I taught just the basic agriculture classes and ag mechanics.
Yeah.
And then when I got the opportunity to come back to Cannon, I started the greenhouse program here at the high school. So.
Yeah, and that's, agriculture is a big thing here in Cannon County.
It is.
So a lot of people going through your program and stuff. You been principal now for what, 3 years?
This is my third
year.
Yes.
When the job opened up, what prompted you to apply for it?
I just wanted to make a difference for our students in Cannon County and just try to do the best I can to prepare them for post-secondary success.
And that's the one thing that you've been kind of leaning towards during your high school teaching career is post-secondary, post-graduation.
Correct.
Trying to get these kids ready to go to college, not only just in the agricultural field, but you've been also instrumental in putting some programs together with CTE and stuff.
Correct. The biggest thing is, the success of the students from, like we said, from post-secondary, going from whether they're going to college, whether they're going on to the military, or just going straight into the career of their choice. I want them prepared so that they can take that next step and be successful.
And talking about the next step is harder now than what it used to be 2 years ago when you grabbed that principal job, wasn't it?
Yes,
and you've got COVID-19 that you've had to deal with, and boy, nobody ever saw this coming. And in March of 2020, the landscape changed. And how much more difficult did it make your job, having to deal with this than it did back when you first started in the principal's chair?
Has it made it very challenging, especially for the dynamics that we have, as far as we have students that don't have the internet, we have students that may, just limited capabilities there. And so with that being said, my teachers are out, making paper packets. We're out delivering those. We're just doing everything we can to make sure that the students are still learning while they're on distance learning.
And as we mentioned, virtual distance learning is a challenge, and students are falling behind, in every county, not just
Yes.
in Cannon County. What do you see, if anything, is possible, like as a solutions or that could help distance learning be more of a success?
That's $1 million question
Yeah.
right there. So the biggest thing that I can think of that would be the success on that would, we really definitely, I think we're seeing that these kids truly learn with that teacher in front of them. Some students succeed on distance learning. I've had some to say that they really enjoy that dynamic. I have the vast majority of my students say they want to be in school and they still like the traditional setting that we have.
Yeah.
And so, as far as the solution to this, the biggest thing is trying to keep our students safe while we're trying to educate them. And that's, I don't know if I have the correct answer on that, but just,
Right.
Just trying to keep them safe is the biggest thing.
And safety is a big concern in schools all across the state of Tennessee, and virtual distance learning and social distancing and trying to keep the students away from each other while they are in school. That's a hard situation too. And you guys are going back, January the 3rd?
January 4th.
4th, yeah, that's a Monday. So High school graduation last year was unique.
Yes, sir.
You had more than likely right after that event, it was kind of like good old days. You plan for the next year right away because you know this thing's not going to go away as quick as what everybody would hope to see. What planning stages for this year's graduation ceremony? Are we looking at the same type of event as there was last year, or is there something maybe different in the works?
Of course, we all hope for that traditional graduation, that we, do the same thing that we've done for many years, even when I was in school. If we have to do the graduation like we did last year, I think that may be an option. I feel like our community come together last year. I know it wasn't traditional, but the biggest thing was making sure that those students had a special moment walking across that stage, and that's the main thing. These parents have waited for 13 years to get to watch their child walk across that stage, and I want to make sure I provide every opportunity to get that to happen.
Well, I think a lot of parents and a lot of students were disappointed that they didn't get to do the traditional thing, but with you guys, the way that you brought this thing together, I mean, that was something that they got to participate, that they can sit out there, and maybe it was just a bright spot of 2020. They could sit out there and say, hey, we got to do this during graduation. Nobody else has ever done it before. We were the first class to do it.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we won't have too many more classes to do it. We'll get that, there's a vaccination going around right now, and they're saying that by June 2021, possibility that things can return back to normal as long as 70% of the population can get to that vaccination.
Right.
So we'll see how that all works. Looking ahead to the new year in 2021 in education terms, what do you hope will be accomplished at Canyon County High School? What would you like to see the state do as far as coming in to help with what's going on now and possibly in the future? I know legislation, governor just called for a legislative meeting coming up in January, in the middle of January, to talk about this and try to help teachers and stuff.
The biggest thing in 2021 as we move forward, I hope that they understand, the state understands the patience that we need as far as the educators. Our teachers are working hard, and they're doing the absolute best that they can at this point. And I'm just really hoping that as we move forward, that they can, that the legislature provides that understanding that this has been unique for our students. Our students are in as we talked about just a minute ago, we're in a deficit right now that I'm not, none of us want to be here. We didn't get an education to fall behind. We want to push those students. And we're just kind of been put in a position right now that it's very difficult. And so what I'm really hoping is that as we move forward, they provide that legislature, I guess, with understanding for the teachers and for the students on where we're at right now.
Here in Canyon County, we've got a challenge going on. Not only do we have the COVID situation here, but we've also got a budget situation going on to where schools are being threatened to be closed. Of course, next year it looks like there's a possibility of schools closing down. What are you hearing from some of the other principals about this? The community schools, you got parents that are fighting to try to keep the community schools open. They want to look for answers, maybe redistricting, things on that nature. What are you hearing from the principals in regards to this?
Just in general talking, I've heard a lot of the principals, they feel strongly about their community schools. And the parents support that. That's tradition in Canyon County. And they love their communities, and that's the backbone of those communities. And so, there's still a lot of support for those community schools.
And you don't have a dog in the fight, thankfully, right? You don't have to get right in the middle of all that.
Well,
You've got your own situation going to high school.
I do. I actually do have a daughter that's in one of the elementary schools. But
and what is she saying?
Just kind of quiet. She doesn't really get into that much. She just goes and does her thing. So.
What grade is she in?
She's in 7th grade.
Okay, 7th. So in a couple of years she'll be.
Yes.
She'll be.
I think she pretty much has her sights on the high school at this point now. So she's.
And where's she going to school at?
At Westside.
Okay, so, but that school's not necessarily in danger of closing per se, because they'd probably keep that one open until the consolidation plan, if that takes place, happens. And by that time, she'll probably be in high school, I would imagine. So
that's a decision the board and Mr. Curtis is going to have to make.
Yeah,
so
they are. But I know they weigh in on your opinion quite often. They ask you several times different questions during the meetings and everything. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your family. What you've got? Two daughters.
Two daughters. I have one of my daughters is a sophomore at Cannon County High School, and she is studying to be going in the nursing field.
Okay.
At this point, and then my other daughter is in 7th grade at Westside, and she is wanting to be a physical therapist.
Wow.
And so they're both very active in basketball. It seems like spend the majority of my time at basketball games or in the gym somewhere.
Well, I thought it's because you were having to take temperatures of everybody coming in to the door, not just the ball games and stuff. But, and it's pretty interesting that your daughter wants to be a nurse, because you were instrumental in putting together the nursing program at Cannon County High School to get them into the NHC and the nursing homes and get them CNA certified, basically. Tell us a little bit about that.
We worked on that for roughly about 7 years on trying to get that implemented at Cannon County High School. Very fortunate to have that program added so that students, before they graduate Cannon County High School, can be a certified nursing assistant. The nursing home in Woodbury has been very gracious to open their arms and let our students train there pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And so that has kind of changed a few little items there. But as far as they have been over backwards, and this has been a win-win for both of us there. Also received a grant from the state for $120,000 for equipment. So that's opened up a health science lab at the high school. Some of the equipment that we have there is the same equipment that they use in the colleges of nursing.
And speaking of colleges, y'all used to have great relationships with Middle Tennessee State University, with Tennessee Tech. Those relationships kind of went by the wayside for a little while. Now they're building back up. What do you foresee in the future as far as your relationships with these area colleges?
I think this is going to continue to grow. I think we're just going to, the nursing field's only going to explode. And it's just going to continue to grow. And I feel like these partnerships and relationships with them, with Motlow, all of these schools are going to just, we're going to have a great situation with them for the foreseeable future.
All right. Well, how long do you think you're going to be in the principal's chair until you retire?
Well, this is my 26th year in education, so I still love what I do, and I love the kids. And
so you got to break, 45 years to be the oldest teacher in or the oldest administrator teacher in Cannon County?
I think Mr. Pitts is safe with his
You're not going to
record.
catch up to him.
I doubt I will catch up with him. He's a legend.
Yeah.
So,
how many years has he been doing it? Do we know?
I want to think that he was administrator for 45 years.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, you got a little ways to go then.
Yes, sir.
So you're 3. So let's go 42 more years.
His record is safe.
I got it. So Courtney Nichols, you got it right here, will be retiring before 45 years.
Yes.
All right. We appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us today and talking with us about the schools. And I know it's been rough on you and the teachers, big challenge, but you do what you do because you love the kids, don't you?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us, and good luck.
Thank you very much.